mounted at the back of the chassis. Now you see the escape. The escape's the big ladder. As it goes past, you'll see it sits on a huge pair of wheels, so that can be demounted from the engine, wheeled out, and those ladders cranked up there using the hand-held crank there and ropes, and that will shoot the ladders up a building. So we can not only work on the fire, it's a 50-foot escape ladder. That's beautifully turned out. Rolls Dennis F15 Cup escape. The Leyland Cup certainly looks like a fire engine, doesn't it? Well presented, superb, beautifully coach painted bodywork, all of the pump connections, highly polished, all of the equipment authentic in period. I think the Newcastle Brigade in the late 40s merged with Gateshead, and this is in very distinctive, somewhat unusual livery of maroon and red, which was popular in its period. This is wonderfully turned out, extremely nicely presented. Now we've got the auxiliary fire service, Austin K2 from 1942, the 3.6 litre Austin engine. These were extremely popular machines. To be seen pulling a pump like this little Worthington moving into our public service vehicles is a small 1969 Bedford J2. It's got the Flaxton Embassy coachwork, it's the Flaxton Embassy 20G. Purchased originally as an engine chassis from Wallace Arnold in Leeds by the Bradford dealer Stanley Hughes. It was sent on to Flaxton's at Scarborough to have this body fitted. It was then sold to Irving's in Carlisle, who operated it as a small country bus till 1973. It then sold on to Wiltshire and was eventually sold to a London fishing club to take the anglers around to their fishing matches and weekend events. So it's had a long mixed life, and it's now been put back to this very authentic Flaxton body, and it's ever so good. Very nice little toy to go vintage rallying in. Actually, he's got a tow bar on, so he obviously pulls the caravan as well. Now, isn't this just the definitive country bus? A Bedford chassis. This is the OB chassis, 29-seater country bus, 1950. Miss Marple, where are you? It's probably on there somewhere. Wonderful presentation. Beautiful coachwork, beautiful from Blackpool, remember. Producing lots of, this is absolutely wonderful. The upholstery, the presentation of the bus, you've got to go and see this when it goes back on its spec. That will go and go and go forever, and it's been well preserved and clearly is a very smooth machine. Next one, we're now moving into our commercial vehicles, and again we've got the ubiquitous Bedford with its 28 horsepower engine and chassis arrangement. But this is the MLZ. Kitted out as a proper Pantechnicon in Pickford's livery, built originally in 1947. Barry Summers is a regular visitor here to the steam gathering, and what has since some considerable time ago used commercially in the Preston Kendal area through till about 1977. Taken into preservation about that time, and a very usable vintage restored vehicle. I mean, after all, if you go to a rally, you can live in the back of that vehicle, can't you? Very happily. Now, one of our big articulated units here, just as a unit itself. This is the Atkinson Silver Knight. This one was built in 1970. Atkinson's designed building vehicles like this from Preston in Lancashire. This is very well dug out, found up in Harrington, Workington up on the West Cumberland coast. What an unusual machine. I walked past it this morning and thought, oh, it's fine a pickup. I sit down now and think, no, it's not, it's an Austin. And when we get to the J-Series vans, we'll see that there was some interchangeability. So that is a very unique machine. Now an international here, sweeper from the 1930s, built by Laker, who built municipal vehicles. You can see the engine, bonnet and radiator stuck right out in front of the axle, and then this huge box between the bonnet and the cab, which is in fact a water tank. And the water is sprayed down above in front of the brush. The brush is going along the road, you don't want to create huge dust clouds. So we got this unusual Laker road sweeper, extremely well preserved. There's a lot of history with this machine, and it's certainly worth it. You're at all interested in chatting to the crew, the owners, when they go back on their train. Next one up, very usable beaver tail flatbed body and big robust wing to get stuff on and off. Just in front of the grandstand, a Morris commercial. This is a 5-ton from 1955. This has got the 5.7 litre Morris engine, so a flatbed, drop-sided, and it's got an unusual box. Now I think that's the living box probably up on top of that flatbed. Yes? Yes, jolly good. Do you live in there? But it's very snug. That's what they're there for. If you're going to go rallying, you need somewhere to live. And this fella doesn't have to tow a trailer or a caravan. He goes up in what was a refrigerated box, and that's been converted out just for the crew to stay in over the weekend. Again, quite a unique machine. This is this Albion A25 3.3 litre box van. Liveried out in the Oxo livery, very popular in its day. Built originally for Mains of Falkirk. Was purchased by Burridge's down in Leeds in Oxford 10 years ago. Major overhaul and put back into this Oxo livery. Isn't that a splendid little device? Beautifully turned out, very square on the road. All the detailing is right. Coach painting superb. What more can you say? Little Commer tractor unit here, liveried out in original RAF livery. This is the model Q2 from 1937. A 4.5 litre engine. Gary's near Lancaster. Barge is milk tanker. I was looking at this morning and marvelling just at the condition, because every time I go past their garage it's right out on the roadside in all sorts of weathers and conditions. So somebody worked very hard to turn it out to shows in this superb condition. Tanks in brilliant presentation. It's built on a Bedford OLBC chassis with that long-running 28 horsepower engine. Original from 1952. So we saw the country bus, and now we've got a country milk tanker, and it's superbly turned out. Going up in grades on public service vehicles, we've got a local double-decker on the Leyland running gear. This is a Leyland PD 240 with a 9.8 litre engine, 1958, and it's liveried out in the Barrow Town Council livery, Barrow Corporation. And very authentic it is too. It's got an open footplate at the rear. We've got the crew there waiting to take our fare should we decide to get on or off. I notice they're selling some very attractive mugs in support of their restoration. I used to go to school on one like this, not in Barrow but somewhere else. Similar model, and of course like all small boys used to leap off the platform going through the traffic lights. We wouldn't be allowed to do such things these days, would we? But we all seem to survive somehow. Next one, we've got stood in front of the grandstand is a beautifully turned out little model Ford Model T from 1924. Little flatbed commercial vehicle, and isn't it splendid? Now notice as it goes round, no front brakes. Later we're going to be seeing steam wagons from that era. So we were head to head with the internal combustion engine and the steam commercial vehicle of its day. Very superbly presented. Next one up, a Ford 10. Again, extremely well presented. Model 4D from 1961, just come along the coast here from Ulverston, again in the original haulage contractors livery. There's a lot of work done into this, it really is. Just look at the cab, look at the wings, look at the chassis, look at the springs on it, we know where to look, and the running gear. Yes, they've done their homework, and all the shackles are nicely mounted, greased. So the mob is usual machine, this one from 1970 with a 5.7 diesel engine, 4-wheel drive, very high ground clearance, often used for timber haulage and winching arrangements, used primarily off the road, all-terrain vehicle, very robust. Look at the big winching drum at the front end and the towing A-frame there. That'll go in forward or reverse with loads and loads of torque, huge amount of ground clearance. That's a very unusual, delight to see here. Very popular machine. It was a step forward in the mid-1950s when these first came on the road. This one from 1958. Full front axle steering, and we've got the solid drawbar trailer. I'm going to guess that this is a Dyson or very similar to a Dyson drawbar trailer, but look at that, huge machine. Front axle again on the trailer, steering as well. So well presented. These things were out and about on the road. Yes, I'm delighted it is a Dyson drawbar trailer. It's a bit like trying to tell the difference between a Ford and a Willys when it comes to Jeeps, but a superb outfit. Fancy restoring that. You need a huge industrial building just to walk around it, let alone the hours and hours it's going to the preservation. John and Laura Holgate have brought along their Albion. This one first registered in 1951. England, Scotland, and even out to Northern Ireland to participate with other Albion and vintage commercial vehicle enthusiasts over there. The 4-cylinder engine, they get 20 to 25 miles per the gallon, and it can cruise along at up to 50 miles an hour in that nice little Albion Chieftain. Next one on, John Waring, Bedford. Now again, we saw the model AA Fords. This one with very much the American General Motors influence. This long, narrow, sloping bonnet with the vertical windscreen, the eyebrow of the windscreen. It has a 2-ton capacitor, flatbed, drop-sided body on it, very, very usable, extremely well turned out, and a very distinctive exhaust note, especially when the silencer is starting to blow. Yeah, it's got lots of guts. Another of our Bedfords, this one from 1952. Late 40s, early 50s, these were very popular on the road. This is the OLBC model, 28 horsepower, a very usable flat bed body on it. Again, as he goes past, have a very good look. It's not just the glitter. Look underneath, look at the chassis, look at the springs, look at the shackles. That tells us where they work, the hours they've done it. It's not just into this super. It was a general haulage, country haulage vehicle. It even got a set of milk kits and a few crates in the back. I was having a quiet look as it came in this morning, looking underneath. That's where you look, that's where you see the preservation and the skills of the restoration engineer coming in. They put the time and the effort to do the detail work. The flatbed lorry just coming towards the PA van at the moment is again a very unusual machine. This little Manchester, not just Manchester tail. Again, a sunbeam. This I think was converted down from a limousine saloon body into this recovery truck. It's a super machine. You're not going to see too many of these. It's a 20 horsepower, 1929 Sunbeam. This must have been a wonderful machine when it was new as a large car. It was in fact a launderette, that's a saloon body. The back part of the roof was pulled down. It was converted after the war into this recovery truck. Now I guess that's probably something like a 3-litre, possibly 6-cylinder engine. Very usable something there. Big Commer now making his way around with the big maxi-load recovery unit, 6-axle jobbing for 10 years, and sold on and ran general haulage for a further 2. Another ERF to follow. ERF, well, you know what it is, ER4, the Fords brothers fell out with each other, one carried on as Fords, so they went into ERF. This one built in 1964, it's a model 44LK with the 80 horsepower engine. Again, look at the cab, marvel at the quality of the finish, but look underneath. That's where these guys really earn their crust. These are commercial vehicles after all. They will have had a long, hard commercial life. Putting them back together in this standard condition is very, very challenging. Big AEC Monarch is making its way around. This is the Monarch with the 7.7 litre unit under the bonnet, Ray Smith machine. Was used extensively as a showman's living van in the past, now used generally for making its way to vintage vehicle rallies, extremely useful. Built in 1948, AC Monarch. Another big ERF, 4-axle, 8-wheeler. Again, the front 2-axle steering on this one. 150 horse Gardner engine in it. Built in 1969, making it a very usable, heavy, all-round commercial vehicle. Again, these will have had long, hard commercial lives. That has been taken to put out the grass, as it were, but still will be used for hauling a caravan, a trailer, and putting restored vehicles up on that flatbed. The Leyland Beaver now making its way just in front of us. Comes over from Tyne and Weir, from Altwhistle. A regular attender here, driven by one of the team, Graham, learning his commercial vehicle driving skills while he's out and about. A good all-round, still a straight lift, just to give it a quick squirt. And you'll hear when these rubbed the load, they were revving by golly, they revved, and we had a very, very distinctive note about them. So this is built in 1950 by Flookburgh. It's got a lovely flatbed configuration. Originally it had a tanker body on it, then was converted, was generally used for hauling bushes waste about in the Cheshire area. So very, very, wheel at every corner by definition almost, and this one meets all of those. Now the driver's going to be good enough when he gets it square. If he just give us a little rev, then we can hear this very distinct. shaft, that's lovely. Now for those of you who weren't familiar with the number 20 on the back of commercial vehicles, that was for real, wasn't it? 20 mile an hour. Now they're regulated to 56. There are still trucks going past me with funny plates on, doing well in excess of 70. Splendid machine, look at it, we can see body on, restoration, genuine, not been liveried out fully yet, so again an opportunity. I was having a poke around this one, look at the mud guards, I don't know who's rolled those and built the little mounting brackets, but they're doing a splendid job. This is where all the time and work goes in, getting the chassis right, getting the running gear right, getting all the springs properly set up. The next one up, this is it really is quite splendid. Again, a good all-rounder, will still be able to be used for general commercial use. I suspect now entirely used for moving reserved and restored vehicles about. Richard Cresswell's outfit. This has got the 4-in-line semi-trailer from that fifth wheel, and up on top of the semi-trailer a very nicely presented Dyson draw-bar trailer. Again, do go and have a look at these when they're on the pick. I was having a snoop around early this morning and looking at the attention to detail. This is superbly presented. The amount of time and effort that goes into the restoration of a commercial vehicle, given that it will have had a long, hard commercial life, possibly driven into the ground. You just have to look at the quality of engineering detail on things like the spring shackles and the chassis work to understand how much attention has been put into a vehicle like that. Nice little Bedford, close couple body one, this, the OWST from 1940. Again with that very popular 28 horsepower Bedford engine. Originally bought and put into use by the War Department, but then sold on to Snowballs to Gibraltar in 1956. They used it for moving coal and building materials with that. A Mark III with 11.3 litre engine under the cab. 1958 it was built originally, and again coming nicely through a period of preservation, and a good vehicle to take out and about onto the rally field. International harvester now with the fifth wheel and long articulated trailer behind. This one taken into preservation by Bob Parker. Again, 8-wheeler, 4-axle configuration, flatbed, drop-sided body. This is liveried out as Robson's. This is a Model S20, built originally in 1959. Spent the first 10 years of its life working middle and something beyond. And here we've got a fleet of Albions, all replicating all the way down on the model FD37 from 1955. That's the 70 horsepower flatbed making its way around. And here we've got detailed miniatures in various scales of that FD37. Great Foster. It's got the Gardner 180 unit, 80 horsepower Gardner diesel. Very robust, very reliable, very popular unit. Went into a whole series of commercial vehicles. This one put on the road originally in 1974. It's been liveried out in Wardle's own livery from Carlisle, and again, very nice attention to detail. The engine is very sweet, verbally quietly on tick over as it makes its way around. Now the big Bedford bus, living van. The pre-Winnebago Bedford, I guess. We've got a beautiful pair of Ford Model Ts now. These are superbly turned out. I spent a little bit of time having a sneak preview earlier this morning. 1919, the first one. 1927, the one to follow on. The miners were built in the early 1930s. In fact, the engine, which was an overhead cam engine, went into the first MG M-Type sports midgets. In a tube version, I hasten to add, but that is superbly turned out. What a splendid little vehicle to go around in. I'm not going to get a breath out of them, Malcolm, is that?